the vibe, y'all? This is your girl Vibes with Ivy Ive, and today I'll be making some oxtails and rice and peas with a side of plantains, of course. So in no way or sort I am a professional at doing this. This is like my second time ever making this in my entire life. The first time I did it at my mom's house. This time I did it at my own, and I stuck to a few traditional things like, washing the oxtails with some vinegar and some lime just to, get all that gunk off and just get them real clean, you guys. You want to make sure you attend to your meat and you show it some love. You make sure it's clean for you and your family before you eat it, all right? So there we go. That's that beautiful oxtail, nice and clean, just sitting there in the lime and the vinegar. Next, I didn't have any browning, so I seen that the main ingredient in it is brown sugar, so I added a lot of brown sugar. All the measurements are there. It was like a half a cup of brown sugar. The rest was tablespoons of each ingredient. So Leah, I'm recording. Thank you. And I made a little oopsie with the cayenne. Had to put some back because definitely didn't want it to be too spicy. But usually there's like scotch bonnet in this, but I didn't have that, and I didn't want it to go too spicy. So I did what I had to do. I used what I had, and I didn't have oxtail seasoning, so I used what I had in my pantry that resembled what was in oxtail seasoning. So I think I did this good. This was like my first little rodeo with this. I feel like the last time I made oxtail, I just winged it, and I don't even remember what I did, but it wasn't traditional at all. This is like semi-traditional. Like I tried to get to the nitty-gritty of what a traditional oxtail Jamaican style would be, but I definitely did do a splash here and there of what I wanted to do and what I could do with what I had. Okay, and right here, as you can see, I took the water. I took everything out, like the vinegar and the lime, and then I added water, mixed it around, got it clean again, drained it, and then I'm going to add that seasoning mix that I created. I'm going to put like maybe 2/3 of it with the oxtail, and then I'm going to leave some to the side because this is going to be for my rice and peas. That green mixture I call it my fequito because it's not really a traditional sofrito like my mom makes. However, it does have cilantro and like onions and garlic and olive oil and like a few things that's in my mom's sofrito. I didn't have culantro and other things, so that's why I call it a fequito. But it does the job, honey. But it was a good binder for these oxtails. Like I said, I'm doing my own little thing. But here we go. You want to make sure the pot is steaming. You put that olive oil in and you let it get hot, okay? You get you a nice big pot and you wait. You go ahead. You put that in. You want it to steam, and you want the oxtail to get a brown crust on it. You don't want it to just be like a gray color. You want it to get that crust. Also, you're getting that sauce to reduce. You're getting the brown sugar to go ahead and caramelize and get like, brown, like the browning liquid that we don't have. And you want to create, yes, you just want it to get like a crust from all the seasoning, okay? And once that happens, I had to add my thyme in there. I forgot to add my thyme, so we're gonna go ahead and put some thyme on there. But yeah, you want to make sure that you flip them around, you stay there, and you just like watch them. You flip around a few times until you see the browning color or the crust that you desire. Okay, and I wanted to speed it up a little bit because you guys get the point, but you want to go ahead and flip them all, and you want to keep a lookout because you see that crust? That's what we want. We want like a nice crust. We want the pan and all the drippings and the juice of the oxtail to get on the bottom of that pot. Don't worry, it's all flavor. And I wanted to go ahead and add some shallots, some garlic, and some peppers in there. Give it an extra little color and some flavor. Alright, let's get everything mixed together with all those juices and seasonings. And you see that crust on those oxtails. Yes, we are getting where we need to go. Right here, I add some tomato sauce. And then I'm gonna add some chicken bouillon. I did not have beef broth. I've seen a lot of people use beef, but the chicken is just as good, if not better, has a lot more flavor. And then I added my Worcestershire sauce, period, because I did not have any soy sauce, which I found was amazing. In Jamaican cuisine, they use the soy sauce. I ran out, so I put some Worcestershire sauce for that really salt content and for like the extra flavor. And then just then I put in some water, not enough to cover the oxtail, but to give it like a nice, you know, just to be right there, just so I could go ahead and scrape up the bits of all that flavor that got on the bottom of that pan, y'all, because that is where all the flavor is going to be. So here I am washing my rice. I'm going to go ahead, I put water in the pan, and then I just whoosh it around, get it clean, wash it as many times as you'd like until there's no cloudiness in it. I like to give it like one wash, maybe two. And then we're gonna go ahead and put it to the side. I added a half a stick of butter into the oxtail pan, and then I'm showing you the products that I'm using for the red kidney beans and the coconut milk. I did add some olive oil to the pan. I added some of my fequito in there just to give it a little extra seasoning. You go ahead and you see me putting the canned beans in there, and then I went ahead and I added the rest of the seasoning that I had earlier that we did. I added my thyme, I added 2 cloves of garlic, and we're gonna go ahead, okay, just make sure that you're attending to the oxtail. You know, you want to stir it, make sure it's good since you're standing there, and then go ahead and stir these beans and all of that flavor in there. I decided to add a little more ginger in there, and then I went ahead and added my coconut milk. Here I'm just adding some more of that chicken bouillon powder. I just added it into the rest of the can that I already had with water, stirred it around, added it in there, and then I also took some of the cream of coconut that I had and I added that in there just for a little bit more sweetness. It's not necessary, but I wanted it to be like a play on sweet and salty. With the oxtail is really salty and, like, you know, then I get the sweet coconut rice and peas. You know, that was where my head was going. Go ahead and add your rice to the pot now that everything is going. It was simmering for a little while just to build up the flavor in the beans before I added that rice. I know I'm cutting a lot of things in editing, but it did stay in there for about like 5 minutes until I added that rice in there. I tasted as I went, so I did decide to add a little bit more allspice and some black pepper. That's what I'm putting in there right now. I apologize if you hear Zalia. She's over here messing with her little cooking stuff. But I did set my cover to the side, my lid to the pot, because I knew I would use that later on. And then I let my rice simmer. I let it boil. I let it boil for a while until it got to this phase. And then you can kind of see, like, when you make it, there's little holes, like air holes, that was letting the steam out and the water escape. This is when you want to go ahead and put the lid on the rice, and you want to turn it down to like low medium. You don't want it to boil anymore. You don't want the burning, like, you don't want it to burn on the bottom. That's like the worst. After you do that for like probably like, you know, 10-15 minutes, you're going to want to take the lid off, and you're going to go ahead and flip your rice just to make sure that everything gets cooked properly. You don't want to have like cooked rice on the bottom and then like hard rice on the top. So this is what I kind of do with all my rices. Go ahead and flip it over, and then you give it like a little chop just to make sure everything is in there. Alright, this part right here is what you always want to do with rice. You want to go ahead and get a fork, and you want to fork it. You just want to fluff your rice. It just makes it a better experience, in my opinion. And I started doing this probably after another 10 to 15 minutes after the rice was flipped. Put the lid back on, and then cooked for a little while longer. And here I am. I'm going to try to thicken up my oxtail, so I'm going to use some cornstarch and put some water in there, make a slurry. Wasn't that much water, probably like 2 ounces, maybe 2 tablespoons of water, 3 tablespoons of water the most. This is gonna make the oxtails thickened up. Now you can eat it at this level, but I ended up making it really thickened to the point where there was barely any liquid left. And as you can see, look at how beautiful those oxtails came out. I added some plantains, some avocado, and I had a ting on the side. Why not? Thank you guys for watching and tuning in. Hopefully if you make this, you let me know, and I hope that you enjoy, and thanks for watching. It's always a vibe with Ivy Ive.